happy Wednesday. Welcome to another live stream. Today's ears are different. These are new holiday ears, but the first time I'm wearing them on a stream. So today's makeup look is going to be very light, very fun, glittery, of course. Yesterday and the day before's look were kind of like more sultry, smoky. Today's going to be the opposite of that. And I am actually leaving the house today, so I do have to put a little bit more effort in. So I'm excited. Let's get into it. As always, I've already done my skincare. My face is already toned, serumed, moisturized. I have eye cream on, but my sunscreen I do here at the same time as my makeup. Although it is part of your skincare, technically, I just do my sunscreen at the same time as my makeup. So for today's primer, we're going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury. It has the sunscreen. It has SPF 50. And then it has a little bit of primer in there too. I don't typically do these 2-in-1 primers because I don't really trust the SPF. I don't think that you'll get enough to adequately give you that full 50 SPF. So I usually don't do these in the summertime, but in the wintertime, I'm a little bit more lax. I put on a bit much today, a little bit too much. That's okay. Maybe today I'll actually get the full 50 SPF that it claims. Okay. So that did give me a very glowy, hydrated look. Like even more hydrated than I already was. Okay, so we'll let that dry down. I like this because it's hydrating. So for the winter, it's good. But like I said, in the summertime, I don't use it. And I think in the summertime, it's just a little bit too hydrating. And it kind of gives me like a very oily look. So there's like a fine line for me. And this is just not one that I use in the summertime. Okay, so I am going to do my eyes first today. I'm gonna go in with a little last bit of my Bare Minerals Prime Time. And I'm at the very last of my tube. Like it's very, very empty now. But this was my favorite eyelid primer for many, many years. And it's discontinued. And I'm starting to, the consistency of the formula is starting to change. So I just need to finish using it. I was kind of saving it up for a little bit. But there's no point if it's not going to be good. Okay. See how it's kind of pilling right here? That's what I mean about the consistencies changing. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to go in with my liquid eyeliner first. And if you guys have watched my streams in the past, you guys know that I do the liquid eyeliner first to kind of blueprint where I want the liner to go. And then I do my shadows on top. And then I'll go in again with the liner. Okay. So this is, I'm using a Wet n Wild liner. This is one of the ones they released for Halloween last year. And I have to use my compact because I'm old and I can't see with my mirror here. So I like to do the details on my compact. Okay. So just laying out where I want my eyeliner to go. I will go in again once I'm done and retouch everything. So now I'm going to lay down my base, and my base is usually a very nude color like this one. But for today, I'm going to go be a little bit different just because the look I want it's going to be like very light. I'm going to go in with a white base. So let's see how that goes. So I'm going to use this one right here, and it's just white. I'm going to go in with this big fluffy brush, pigment, and just put it all over. So you can see where my primer ends, where my eyelid primer ends. It's much less pigmented. A lot of people, a lot of girls will use concealer as their base, and that just doesn't work for me. Concealer is not formulated to work to hold your makeup in place. Concealer is usually pretty creamy, pretty hydrating, and your lids, or at least my lids, and a lot of lids are oily. They produce a lot of oil. So I just don't feel like they work the best for holding makeup in place. So that's going to be, I kind of feel like I need a little bit more just for the look I'm doing. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit more. Where's my brush that I just had? Here it is. Yeah, I want to see less of my skin underneath, and I want to see a little bit more product, more white. Okay, and this is the ColourPop Toy Story palette, and this has a couple shades in here that I think I can use for today's look. It's a very soft palette. So it has a lot of soft colors in there. It has some other ones, like darker, deeper ones too. But yeah, that's fine. This will work, I think. I also have these. I have so many options. So I have these as well. So I'll just probably be pulling from a bunch of different palettes today. Okay, so right on top of that pink, I think I'm actually going to go in with like this neon-ish purple. So for that, I'm going to grab a more precise brush. So it's going to be this one. I'm just going to brush off. I used this brush yesterday, so it has brown in there. Not a lot, but I'm going to take off what I can get. Okay, that's pretty close to the liner. In terms of pigment. By putting that white base down also, it lets your pigments just pop a lot better. Okay, so as I'm looking myself straight on, these look pretty even, but I feel like I just need a little bit more pigment here on this side. And it doesn't have to be perfect because everything's gonna get blended together. Okay, so what other colors does this palette have? I don't think any other ones I'm gonna use. Okay, so for more of the center, we're gonna go back to that Toy Story color pop, and it's gonna be that blue right there. And I think I'm just gonna use the same brush for this one. So I like using these flat brushes because I can be very precise with where I want my colors to go. We'll clean all the fallout right now when we're done. Okay. And then I am thinking we'll go in with this green, this very, very soft, like lime-ish green. I did switch my brush for that one, just because I don't need such precision anymore. I think I'm going to do a little bit more green. My eye has started twitching again. It doesn't. It was doing this before I went on vacation. Let's see if it twitches. There it goes. And then when I'm on vacation, it doesn't do it at all. But then when I come back, it starts twitching. So to me, that indicates that it's a stress-induced twitch. And I just need to just constantly be on vacation. Okay. Kind of wish this blue was a little bit more blue. Let's see if I have anything else that can go on top of that and just give me a little bit more, because it looks so blue in my tin. Let's see if we add, let's see this one. Let's see how this one looks. Yeah, that's kind of better. And remember, this is all going to get blended together in a little bit, so it doesn't need to be super precise. Okay. Okay, we're getting places. So now for the inside, let's see what color I want. I'm thinking I'm gonna go in with the same brush that I was using. So I'm gonna just wipe off the excess. I think I'm gonna go in with this one. This is Ghost Host. And I think I'm just gonna do all of that on the inside. Yeah, that works. Okay. Okay, so before I do that, I'm gonna just blend those colors up there. So for that, you're gonna want a clean, fluffy brush. And then just very kind of like in circle motions. Just go over everything. Need a little green, a little bit more green on this eye. Just a little smidgen. This part right here looks so naked to me. I'm gonna have to add something there. Let's do a little purple. Let's see how that looks. So same color, I'm gonna grab this, same palette. I'm gonna grab this purple right there. And I'm just gonna grab the tiniest amount because I don't know how pigmented it is. That's a little bit too deep, I think, for me. Yeah, let me put a little bit on the other side so that it doesn't look so naked, but I'm gonna try and find another purple. Yeah. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, let me find another purple. Because that one's just a little too deep. Okay. Now I'm gonna try, or actually maybe I'll try this like periwinkle kind of color. Let's see how that one looks. A little bit better. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, so we'll go back to blending. The shadows are not moving. They're there. You could try and reactivate with some setting spray, but I don't want to do that. So they're blending. It's just taking a long time. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it like that since it's not blending. And I don't want to be here forever. This side blended together a lot nicer than this side for some reason. This side kind of got a little bit muddy. And I think I need a little bit more green on this side. Just right there on the top. Yeah, just a little bit. I think I'm going to add a little bit of purple to the other side too. Yeah, just a little bit. I feel like this side, this eye has a little bit more purple. Yeah. Okay. Just gonna blend that purple and green in just a little bit more. And then, so I'm done blending. I'm gonna pick up more of that Ghost Host glitter and finish that. Or do I want to, what do I want to do? Actually, I'm gonna clean up my glitter first. So I'm gonna clean up all the glitter fallout. And for that, I'm just gonna grab a little Q-tip here. Always keep a little bit here in my makeup collection. And then actually I may just try to pick it up with a little bit of water first. A little bit there. And the reason why I did just water is because the makeup remover leaves a lot of oil. And so if I can get away with not using the makeup remover, I'd much rather do that. Okay. So now we're going to I'm going to conceal my under eye so you can do the shadow on the underneath. Doing a little color corrector or a lot of color corrector. Gonna grab my new favorite blending brush for under eye. And that blends so fast. And here I gotta be careful. I always need to put a little bit more into that crease right there, because I just have a little bit of darkness there. Okay. Now that that's blended, I'm gonna go in with my concealer. It's actually not concealer. It's the retouching fluid from Hourglass. I don't know if they make this anymore. I'm gonna go heavy with it today. So when you're applying it to your under eye, to really brighten and blend, just bring it to your nose. Bring it up the side of your nose. So you're kind of doing like a triangle right here. And then just drag it up to your temple to give you that lifted look and to just kind of highlight that part of your face. The temple's kind of sunken in. Naturally, it gives that sunken in appearance. So just to kind of counter that, just want to take your concealer up a little bit. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much done. Now I am going to go in with probably like 2 of these shades. I'm probably going to go in with the pink one that we used, which was that neon. It's like a neon shade. Not with that brush. Where is... With this brush, just grab a little bit, and this brush picks up so much pigment. And place a little bit there. My eye's twitching again. And then maybe I'll take a little bit of blue. I think a little bit of blue would be fine. So we're gonna go back to this very, very bright blue. Just dip that in. A little bit more. Try and blend it in as best as you can with that pink without getting it too muddy. Okay, and then for the center, I'm gonna do that green. I guess it's not the center, it's the inner. I always do that. I always say the wrong thing. There we go. So that side looks pretty good. I'm not gonna blend anymore. I do want to put a little bit just in this corner as well. This side needs a little bit more, I think. Just a little tiny bit, but I picked up so much pigment. So don't forget, you're gonna want to ombre these too. So just go back and forth with that green and that blue where they meet. Okay. Okay, I think I'm done with that. So now all we need to do is add our glitter to the inside. So going back in with that Ghost Host, this one right here, it has some blue in there, some blue and some green, so it's kind of like the perfect glitter for this eye look. This one isn't as creamy as the other glitters that they have in their pressed palettes. They have glitters in here that are like wet. It's kind of weird, but I don't know. It works. Like it's like a gel glitter. This one I think was supposed to be like that, but it's dried out. I'm gonna add a little bit more on top of this green right here. Okay. So we're pretty much done with that. I'm just gonna add a little bit more glitter because it's never enough glitter for me. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the rest of the face. For highlighter, I'm gonna use a little bit of highlighter under that brow. So I want like a nice shimmer up there. Something that's gonna really catch the light. So I'm gonna do, with the paddle brush, just a little bit of like this shimmer right here. This is an eyeshadow. And I'm gonna just place it right underneath my brow. So that just really pulls that together. I think it blends it in a little bit more, and then it just makes it just completes your eye look. And then you can kind of bring your shadows up if you want. Blend them up with your highlighter. So just very lightly go over that. These shadows aren't really moving. But just softening those lines together with that highlighter so it doesn't look so abrupt. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. So let's go ahead and work on the rest of the face now. For foundation today, I'm not going to use the Professional, the Benefit one. I want something a little lighter, like a little softer. Something not so yellow, because that one's just a little bit yellow, which is okay. But just for this eye look, I want to do something a little softer. So I'm going to go in. This is one of the Tarte foundations. Okay, so now that that's done, now we have to do a little contouring. I'm gonna go in with the powder contour. It's actually more like bronzer. So going in with a light one. And then using my fan brush. And then for me, I really like to go like where my hair kind of dips, right at the top. And that's kind of like where I'll put the most. Don't forget to blend into your hair. So once you have that pretty much blended, then I like to just kind of blend it back in to my forehead and drag my foundation up a little bit, just using that same brush. And just very lightly blend it down. And we're gonna go very light with the bronzing today because the eyes do a lot, so the face shouldn't do as much. Like you shouldn't have so much color on your face. So I'm just adding a very, very small amount, much less than I would use normally. And don't forget to blend into your hair. Okay. So, moving on to blush, I'm gonna go in with a very, very soft pink. So something like this. This is an old Benefit blush back when they had the boxes still. This is in shade Hervana. So I'm gonna go in with that one. Just a little dusting of that. Right on the cheekbones. And then you can bring your bronzer up with the blush. Trying to just make it a little bit more cohesive. And I always do a little touch of blush under my eyes as well. Okay, it's very, very soft, but that's exactly what I wanted. Now let's do brows. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of a darker brow look today. So So I'm going to go with this liquid. It's the semi-permanent brow ink, the Revlon one. This is okay. This product's okay. I just wish that the applicator was a little bit different. It takes a lot of going back to the bottle to finish your brow. See, it's like a lot of re-dipping of the brush, and I don't like that. It's very time consuming. But I do like how natural it looks, like the little strokes. Just like, I don't know, it just makes it look more natural. So I like that. Okay, so for finishing touch, I'm gonna take a little bit of this Fenty Diamond Balm, and with kind of like a fluffy eye shadow brush, just pick some up, or pick a lot up. Just gonna press that in all over so it gives my eyes a little bit more shimmer, since all of those pigments were pretty flat. So there's the before, here's the after. So the little sparkle, the touch of sparkle makes a difference, especially for me. I shouldn't be so afraid to muddle these colors because they didn't move when I was trying to blend them. All right. Leave that out. I'll probably use that as highlighter as well. And then with this particular formula, the more you blend it, the finer the little glitter gets. It like breaks it down. If that makes sense. I don't know. Like when you apply it, the glitter is pretty chunky at first, but then as you work it and your brush breaks it down, it becomes like really, really fine, almost like more iridescent, less glitter. So I don't know, it's interesting. I like that. So now that we're just about done, I'm gonna go in again with that eyeliner that I did. And retouch it. And this is something that I pretty much always do. I always lay down the liner first, do the shadows, and then come back and retouch it afterward because I feel like it just stays better for me in particular. I just feel like the wear is a lot longer when I do it this way. When I do it on top of my eyeshadows directly, I just feel like the liner doesn't stay as well. Okay, that's better. I'm thinking about tight lining that bottom lid with a blue. This is the blue. This is in shade Roxy and Urban Decay Waterproof Gel Liner. Should I do it or should I not do it? I think I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. Let's do just a little bit. Yeah, that's cool. It's not too much. I hate doing that part. Okay, yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Now my eye doesn't feel so naked on the bottom. Just a little pop of blue. And then what else do we need to do? Let's set. Where's my setting powder? Here it is. Let's set everything. And then before I set, I always look down. I had some creasing there. So I'm going to take a brush with a tip to it. This is a concealer brush. And just brush that out. And I do apply my setting powder with a blush brush. And I really focus, because it's just a fine amount that I'm putting on, I really focus on the areas that I want a little bit more extra shine control. Or where I know I will crease. Okay. Okay. So now that I brought down, that I toned down the look a little bit with the setting powder, I am going to add just a touch more blush. Just a little bit, because it's still there. I can still see it, but I just want a little bit more. So I'm going to go back in with the same shade. Yeah. Don't forget to blend into your hairline, everybody. And then I always start my blush on the side, and then once everything's kind of blended in for the most part, then bring forward and a little under my eye. Yeah, that's better. There we go. I wanted a little bit of color, but after I put my setting powder, it muted it quite a bit. So I'm just going in and doing a little bit more. Do a little bit there too. And then I always do a little bit under my eyes. I just feel like I like the warmth that it brings, and I feel like it brings my makeup together a little bit, so it looks a little bit more cohesive. But yeah, I think we're just about done. Highlighter for today. Debating if I want to do the same Fenty Balm or if I want to do something a little softer. I think I'm going to do something a little softer. So we're going to do the Dandelion Twinkle from Benefit. So that's this one right here. And this is a very, very soft highlighter. And it doesn't have that chunky glitter like I was saying about the Fenty, the Diamond Balm. A little bit there. And then I do want just a little bit more on my upper brow. So I'm going to grab a little fluffy brush. I'll use the same one that I did the Diamond Balm with. Pick up a little highlighter and just it right on top of that brow. The brush is a little bit wide, but that's okay. And I do my highlighter from the highest point of my brow and then just a little to the side, like where my head kind of starts to dip where it usually catches the light anyway. Okay. Okay. So now that the face is pretty much done, we're gonna do mascaras. And to just go with the theming of the look and to bring in that blue liner that I have down there, I'm gonna go in with a blue mascara. So let's curl. Finger stuck. Okay, let's curl. I'm very careful with this part to not touch the curler to my face. Gonna go in with some Chanel mascara, just a little bit of something first. Here it is. This is the base, Le Base mascara. Overpriced and overhyped in my opinion. So I'll go ahead and let that dry down. Do the other side very carefully. If I remember to, I do curl again once my mascara is dried. Because this little curl that I do pre-application, it just doesn't do much. Okay. I just don't like how the Chanel mascara just like clumps my lashes together. And I don't know, it doesn't lengthen for me. It doesn't volumize for me. It doesn't, I don't know. It's way overpriced and it's way overhyped. And I don't get it. I don't get why so many people love that mascara. That's their best-selling mascara. And it's just not for me. It's very basic. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with this blue, and it is so blue. And just do a little bit, mainly on the tips for me. But I will kind of coat the lashes. So this gives you like a little bit of blue without being in your face. So when you look, you're like, huh, are her lashes blue? Are they not? So I really do focus on the tips. Like the L'Oreal mascara is going in and fixing the Chanel. Okay, I think that's enough blue. I don't want super, super, super blue lashes. That's why I did the brown or the black first. I don't know if you guys can even see the blue. Yeah, you can. It's there. Yeah, I can see it. That's enough for me. I just wanted a little bit of blue. Okay, so now lips. Lips is also going to be very, very soft. I just want to do like a very soft pink. So let's do a little liner. Let's do, what's this one? No, not that one. Charlotte never disappoints. The Pillow Talk, I think, is exactly the shade I'm looking for. So let's do that. This is Pillow Talk, right? Yeah, this is Pillow Talk in number 2. So I start first by just going with my natural lip structure, but then as I get like right underneath my nose, I kind of come up and overline just a little bit. So the rest of the lip is my lip, my natural lip line. But as we come to the center of the lips is where I start to overline. So same thing for the bottom. I overline the center and then follow my normal lip line structure towards the edges. And then I shorten my lips so I don't line all the way to the ends. And drag a little bit down, and then for pink, I'm gonna go in with the Sachu lip gloss in shade Bunny Tongue, and this is like a super bubblegummy pink. And that is going to be it for today's look. It's not quite right, in my opinion. I will probably attempt this again tomorrow, see if I can do something a little bit different. But I'm still happy with how it came out. Let me know your thoughts, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.